The story of Lucifer, from the brightest angel to the fallen one, is a lesson in pride, temptation, and the eternal triumph of light, from heaven to the book of Revelation. This journey reminds us that love and faith always prevail over darkness. If you enjoy meaningful stories, hit the subscribe button to explore more profound lessons every day. Before evil came into existence, long before humanity set foot on earth, infinite goodness reigned in the heavens. Everything was perfect. Angels radiated divine light, their hearts full of reverence for their Creator. Among them stood Lucifer, the brightest and most glorious of all, described as the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Lucifer was God's masterpiece, the very first creation. Sculpted with unparalleled care and might, he was granted unmatched power, intelligence second only to God, and a splendor that inspired awe across the heavens. Yet, perfection has its peril. Though blameless in his ways, a seed of wickedness took root in Lucifer's heart. Pride consumed him, and his brilliance became his downfall. He desired more than the place God had granted him. He sought to ascend beyond the stars, to raise his throne above all creation, even above God himself. His once holy ambition turned into rebellion, and heaven shook as harmony shattered. Jesus himself testified, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven, cast into darkness." Lucifer, the morning star, became Satan, the prince of darkness, the source of all evil and suffering. His fall left an eternal scar on heaven, a reminder that even the brightest light can succumb to shadow. Lucifer's descent into darkness. Heaven was a realm of perfect order, where angels fulfilled their divine purposes. Seraphim burned with love and purity. Cherubim guarded divine wisdom, and archangels like Michael and Gabriel carried messages of decisive moments. Amid this harmony, Lucifer was the beacon, leading heavenly choirs in praises to the Creator. His voice, radiant and magnetic, united the angels in worship. But the seed of pride began as a whisper in his mind. What if my light could shine brighter? What if my glory didn't always have to serve another? These fleeting thoughts, though small, took root and grew. Lucifer began to withdraw, his voice fading from the choirs, his once dutiful heart restless. Other angels noticed the change. Gabriel approached him, asking, "Brother, what burden weighs on your heart? Your light grows restless." But Lucifer, avoiding his gaze, responded enigmatically, "There are things even we cannot understand." As the tension within him grew, so did his ambition. Some angels, dazzled by his brilliance, began to listen to his veiled words, drawn to his light in a way that suggested another destiny, a path separate from God. Lucifer's spark of rebellion became a flame, and his pride culminated in a chilling declaration, "I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High." And so, rebellion erupted. The heavens, once an ocean of peace, trembled as Lucifer led others astray. Cast down from glory, his brilliance was extinguished, replaced by the darkness of ambition unfulfilled. The morning star, created to illuminate creation, became a symbol of corruption, the eternal lesson. Lucifer's story reminds us that even the most perfect creation can fall into darkness when pride takes root, though scattered across Scripture in fragments and symbolism. His tale remains a warning. No light, however bright, can shine brighter than its creator. The fall of Lucifer, a story of pride and free will. In the heavens, before evil existed, angels were not innocent or naive. They were reflections of God's purity, wise, strong, and perfect. Among them, Lucifer stood above all, a masterpiece of divine creation, admired for his beauty, wisdom, and charisma. His authority and influence were well-deserved, and even God praised his own work, calling Lucifer the seal of perfection. Yet, within Lucifer's brilliance, a shadow began to stir. God, sensing the first tremors of pride, spoke to him with love. "Lucifer, my son, your light is a reflection of my love, not your own. Do not let it draw you away from me." Lucifer replied with devotion, yet deep within, pride began to take root. He wondered, Am I not the brightest? The most unique? This spark of self-centeredness grew quietly, transforming his once genuine desire to serve into an ambition to rise beyond his station. God, patient and merciful, continued to call him back, warning him of the danger in his thoughts. But Lucifer, torn between love for his creator and pride in his own glory, began to withdraw. His once leadership among the heavenly choirs faltered, and his devotion cooled. Though his words still spoke of loyalty, the fire of rebellion burned silently within. The great test and the revelation. God, in his infinite wisdom, delayed judgment, giving Lucifer time to return. He warned him of a coming test, a moment that would challenge all of heaven. The winds will be strong, God said, but you must root yourself in humility. Remember, all light comes from me. Though Lucifer pledged loyalty with sincere words, the seed of pride continued to grow. The day of revelation arrived. God gathered all the angels and unveiled his plan, a material universe, vast and beautiful, filled with galaxies, stars, and a special creation, Earth. On this world, life would flourish, reflecting God's love and glory in a new way. The angels marveled at the vision, their hearts filled with joy. But in Lucifer's mind, the spark of pride flared into a consuming fire. Why should this new creation hold such importance? He thought, am I not more deserving of glory? The turning point, Lucifer's pride culminated in rebellion. His inner light, once a reflection of divine love, turned inward, becoming a blaze of self-exaltation, like Adam and Eve in Eden. Tempted by the serpent's whisper to be like God, Lucifer sought to rise above his creator. He declared, I will ascend above the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. And so, the harmony of heaven shattered. The brightest star fell into darkness, taking with him a third of the angels who had been dazzled by his false light. Cast from heaven, Lucifer, now Satan, became the prince of shadows, his brilliance extinguished by his own ambition. The lesson of free will. Lucifer's fall is a reminder of the fragility of free will, God's greatest gift. Even in perfection, the angels were free to choose, and pride opened the door to rebellion. Heaven, once a place of perfect peace, knew shadow for the first time. Yet God, in his infinite love, still mourned the loss of his most beautiful creation, whispering even in Lucifer's fall, I will always love him. The story of Lucifer stands as an eternal warning. Even the brightest light can falter when it turns away from its source. The Creator's plan, Lucifer's defiance, and the birth of rebellion. Heaven stood in awe as God unveiled his grand design. The Creator announced not just the birth of the material universe, but something far more profound. On one world, I will create beings in my image and likeness. They will be called humans, a blend of flesh and spirit, of heaven and earth. More than that, I will take human form as the second person of the Trinity. My Son, Jesus Christ, will walk among them, and in that humanity, you shall worship me. The angels were struck with wonder and joy at the mystery of the Incarnation. God, infinite and all-powerful, would humble himself to become flesh, revealing a love deeper than they could comprehend. Many angels erupted in songs of praise, overwhelmed by the beauty of the Creator's plan. Yet, among them, one remained silent, Lucifer. His gaze was distant, his expression hardened. The thought of bowing before a mortal form stirred rebellion within him. Why should beings of pure light worship flesh? Why would perfection lower itself to something so fragile? His mind churned with bitterness. Why not me? He thought. Was I not the first, the most radiant, the closest to God's throne? Why would he choose humans over me? The vision of the crucifixion, a symbol of God's sacrifice for humanity, only deepened his disdain. For Lucifer, the idea of God suffering for flawed, rebellious beings was unthinkable. This bitterness coiled around his heart, suffocating his love for the Creator and twisting it into pride and resentment. Lucifer's rebellion. The decisive moment came when God called all the angels to bow in adoration of his plan. One by one, the angels knelt in devotion, but Lucifer remained standing, his body rigid, his gaze fixed on God's throne. In a voice cold and resolute, He uttered a single word, "No." The heavens trembled at his defiance. God, filled with sadness yet infinite love, looked upon Lucifer, hoping he might reconsider. But Lucifer repeated, louder this time, "No." His words, sharp as thunder, shook the celestial hosts. Turning to the angels, he declared, "This is a mistake. We are beings of pure light, created above all others. How can we bow to flesh? This is not glory, it is humiliation." His charisma, once a gift of God, now became a weapon. With eloquence and logic, he sowed doubt among the angels. Why should we, the first and greatest, lower ourselves? Should we not occupy the highest place, rather than worship something beneath us? Some angels hesitated, their loyalty shaken by Lucifer's compelling words. Seeds of rebellion began to grow. The archangel Michael's intervention. Just as Lucifer's rhetoric swayed the angels, a voice rang out with clarity and power. "Who is like God?" The words belonged to Michael, a humble archangel of lesser rank. Yet his cry, simple and direct, pierced the hearts of the angels. It was a reminder of their Creator's majesty and their place in his divine plan. Michael stepped forward, his courage shining brighter than any rank or title. He confronted Lucifer. "Your light has turned to shadow, and your pride blinds you. You have placed yourself above God, forgetting that all you are is a reflection of his glory." Lucifer, stunned by the force of Michael's words, retorted bitterly, "You understand nothing. What God asks of us is humiliation, not love. I will not kneel before something inferior." But Michael, unwavering, replied, "This is not humiliation, it is love. God lowers himself for us, yet you reject him because of your pride. You have forgotten that true greatness comes from serving, not ruling." The fall of Lucifer. Michael's words exposed the truth of Lucifer's rebellion. It was not about justice or reason, but about pride. Humiliated and enraged, Lucifer could no longer contain his fury. He declared open rebellion, rallying a third of the angels to his cause. The heavens, once filled with perfect harmony, erupted in a celestial war. Lucifer, the morning star, fell from grace, cast out of heaven by the very God he sought to surpass. His light, once the brightest, was extinguished, replaced by darkness. No longer Lucifer, the bearer of light, he became Satan, the adversary, the prince of shadows. The eternal lesson. Lucifer's fall serves as a timeless warning. Pride and self-exaltation lead to ruin. Even the most radiant beings are nothing without the Creator. God's plan, rooted in humility and love, stands as the ultimate truth, one that no rebellion, no matter how charismatic or powerful, can ever overcome. Lucifer's defiance, the rise of rebellion and the war in heaven. Lucifer, the morning star, could not bear Michael's truth. Michael's words, spoken with humility and love, reflected Lucifer's own image back to him, a shadow of resentment and pride. Overcome with rage, Lucifer turned away, his pride wounded and his heart consumed by bitterness. Alone, he wept, not with sorrow, but with anger, deep within. A quiet voice reminded him that Michael was right, and that truth tormented him most of all. Lucifer whispered to the angels, "God asks the impossible. We, beings of pure light, must kneel before a form of clay, worship a crucified God." His words planted doubt, convincing others that God's plan defied reason. Why should we not be who we truly are? Why bow when we are destined for greatness? Lucifer's charisma and authority drew the brightest, most powerful angels to his cause. He promised them a future of freedom, a heaven where they would reign, unbound by servitude. The rebel army formed, radiant beings corrupted by ambition and pride. Lucifer, addressing his followers, declared, "We are the future. We are the light that refuses to kneel. If God denies us the place we deserve, we will take it ourselves." His words thundered through the heavens, and the once loyal angels transformed into weapons of rebellion. Michael's stand, the defender of truth. Amid the growing rebellion, Michael, the humble archangel, rose. His cry, "Who is like God?" pierced the hearts of the angels. reminding them of their Creator's majesty and their own place in his divine order. Facing Lucifer's army, Michael stood unwavering. "Your light has turned to shadow," he declared. "This is not about humiliation, it is about love. God's sacrifice is the ultimate expression of his greatness, and you reject it because of your pride." Lucifer, enraged, dismissed Michael's words as weakness. "I am the first, the true light. I will not kneel before an inferior form." But Michael's faith and humility shone brighter than Lucifer's dark ambition. The rebellion had reached its breaking point. The war in heaven. The heavens became a battlefield as light clashed with shadow. Lucifer led his rebel army, their once radiant splendor now twisted by pride, against Michael and the faithful angels. The clash of divine swords filled the skies, each strike illuminating heaven with flashes of celestial power. Michael, small in rank but mighty in faith, advanced at the forefront, his cry echoing through the chaos. Who is like God? His strength came not from his position but from his unwavering loyalty to the Creator. Guided by love and truth, the faithful angels fought with divine power, their blows fueled by the light of their Creator. Lucifer, cloaked in shadow, rose above the battlefield, declaring, "I am the true light," but his words rang hollow, a dark echo of what he once was. Michael's response, filled with purity and faith, burned like a flame. "You have forgotten your place, Lucifer. Your pride blinds you. All light comes from God." The fall of Lucifer. The war raged fiercely, but the forces of good prevailed. Michael, sword raised high, delivered the final blow. By God's power, fall. Lucifer, darkness split asunder, and the rebellion crumbled. Lucifer and his followers, a third of the heavenly hosts, were cast out, falling like stars from the heavens. Lucifer, now Satan, was hurled into the abyss, his once glorious light extinguished by his own pride. The heavens fell silent, the triumph of light over shadow leaving a bittersweet wound. The faithful angels mourned the loss of their brothers but rejoiced in the victory of truth, love, and loyalty. Though scarred, heaven remained steadfast, a reminder that goodness is eternal, the eternal truth. Lucifer's rebellion serves as an eternal lesson. Pride and ambition, no matter how fierce, are fleeting shadows against the enduring light of faith and love. The virtues of humility, loyalty, and truth, rooted in the very essence of God, will always prevail. Darkness can never extinguish the divine light that is the foundation of all creation. The end of the battle, Lucifer's fall and new purpose. The celestial battle had ended, and though wounded, heaven returned to peace. Michael's cry, "Who is like God?" echoed across the universe, a truth immovable and eternal. Lucifer, the morning star, and his followers were cast out of heaven, banished into a realm of darkness and chaos. As they fell, they resembled meteors, their once radiant light extinguished by rebellion. Lucifer's fall was not merely a physical descent but a profound spiritual rupture. Separated from God's light and heavenly harmony, the abyss into which he was hurled became a realm of desolation, a shadowy reflection of heaven, devoid of holiness and peace. For Lucifer, now Satan, this separation was a torment greater than any punishment. Yet his pride transformed that torment into a new mission. If he could not rule in heaven, he would destroy God's most beloved creation, humanity. Satan's hatred for humanity stemmed from envy. Humans, made in God's image, had been given the love and glory he coveted. To him, their very existence was an affront, and their fall became his singular goal. "If I cannot have God's presence," he resolved, "neither will they." This bitter resolve marked the birth of evil as an active and organized force, working tirelessly to corrupt creation. The balance of divine justice and love. God, in his perfect justice, allowed Lucifer and his followers to exist in darkness, a consequence of their own choices. They were no longer permitted to bask in divine glory, yet God's love still granted them the freedom to exist. Even in exile, this balance of justice and mercy revealed the depth of God's character. The fallen angels could not destroy his creation, for their power was always limited by God's sovereignty. Yet they would test humanity, introducing temptation, pride, and despair into the human experience. Lucifer's influence on earth. Satan's influence is evident throughout Scripture, beginning with his temptation of Adam and Eve, which brought sin into the world. His ultimate goal has remained the same: to separate humanity from God through deception, pride, and rebellion. Yet his methods, while cunning, are always countered by God's grace. In the New Testament, Satan attempts to tempt Jesus in the wilderness after 40 days of fasting. He offers Jesus physical sustenance, power, and dominion over all the kingdoms of the earth in exchange for worship. Each temptation reveals Satan's ultimate desire: to usurp the worship and glory that belong to God alone. Jesus, unwavering in faith, rejects each temptation with Scripture, demonstrating humility and obedience to the Father. His response reminds humanity that true power lies not in wealth, miracles, or dominion, but in love and fidelity to God. Another example of Satan's influence is found in the book of Job. In a moment of arrogance, Satan challenges Job's faithfulness, claiming that Job's loyalty is conditional on God's blessings. Satan's accusation strikes at the heart of love and faith, suggesting they are shallow and transactional. Yet Job's perseverance through suffering proves otherwise, reaffirming that genuine faith endures even in the face of adversity. The eternal battle between good and evil. Lucifer's rebellion marked the beginning of an eternal conflict between light and shadow, good and evil. His hatred and ambition continue to manifest in the temptations and struggles faced by humanity. Yet his influence, though pervasive, is limited. Evil is loud and defiant, but it is fleeting, no match for the eternal power of goodness and divine love. Through grace, faith, and humility, God equips humanity to resist Satan's schemes. The battle between good and evil persists on earth, but the triumph of light, as in heaven, is assured. Michael's words, "Who is like God?" serve as a constant reminder that no power can rival the Creator. The virtues of love, humility, and faithfulness rooted in God's essence will always prevail, for goodness is eternal and invincible. The lesson of Lucifer's fall. Lucifer's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of pride and ambition. His fall shows that even the most radiant beings are nothing without the Creator. Yet it also highlights God's unwavering love and justice. Though Satan works tirelessly to corrupt humanity, God's grace ensures that evil will never triumph. Goodness, rooted in divine love, remains the ultimate truth, a light no darkness can extinguish. Job's lesson and Lucifer's role in humanity's fall. Job's response to suffering, though anguished, teaches the enduring power of faith. His loyalty to God amidst unimaginable pain proves that faith is not merely gratitude for blessings but a deeply rooted trust that withstands trials. Satan's attempt to break Job failed, and his steadfastness stands as a testament to resisting evil through unwavering faith. Lucifer's first act after his fall was to target humanity in the Garden of Eden, the stage God had lovingly prepared for human history. Taking the form of a serpent, a symbol of cunning, he planted doubt in Eve's mind, whispering, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" With subtlety and persuasion, he transformed a simple desire into an irresistible temptation. "You will be like God, knowing good and evil," he promised, seducing Adam and Eve into disobedience. This act achieved what Lucifer intended, to separate humanity from its creator. The celestial conflict now found a home in the human heart, with each temptation echoing that first choice in Eden. Yet, every biblical story of resistance, Job's endurance, Jesus' victory over temptation, reminds us that good ultimately triumphs over evil. Lucifer's role in Revelation, the final battle. The book of Revelation unveils Satan's ultimate fate and his relentless role in the cosmic battle between good and evil. Portrayed as the great dragon, that ancient serpent, Satan emerges as humanity's and God's ultimate adversary, determined to corrupt creation until the very end. He embodies deception, leading the world astray with lies and temptation. Revelation describes a time of tribulation, where Satan's power reaches its zenith. He operates through the beast and the false prophet, establishing a counterfeit kingdom in an attempt to usurp God's glory. His ultimate ambition, to be worshipped as God, is revealed in his tyranny and corruption. In a climactic vision, Satan faces Michael and the heavenly armies in a final battle. The conflict, which began with Lucifer's rebellion in heaven, reaches its fiercest point, but as before, Satan is defeated. Revelation describes his capture and eternal banishment to the lake of burning sulfur, where he is rendered powerless to influence humanity or creation. This act of divine justice seals his fate and reaffirms God's ultimate authority over all. The meaning of Satan's defeat. Satan's downfall in Revelation signifies the absolute triumph of good over evil. While God's justice permits evil to act for a time, his power is always limited. In the end, God's love and truth prevail, and creation is restored. Satan's rebellion becomes a symbol of failure, a dimmed light consumed by its ambition and hatred, unable to overcome the infinite love and goodness of God. Revelation's prophecy reminds humanity that though evil may seem formidable, its time is finite. Faith, hope, and perseverance remain our spiritual weapons, guiding us toward God's eternal light. The defeat of Satan reaffirms that good always triumphs, not merely through strength, but because it embodies truth, justice, and love.